Akeem Blake. I'm not sure what is happening with Boaj and Kuba. I don't know what he's doing at Kingston College. And I'm just saying.
Hey Trekkies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. You don't know, smash that like button if you've yet to do so. Subscribe to our channel. Now, of course, you see the title, so you don't know we're taking on yet another very exciting athlete straight out of Jamaica. Ignore that truck passing in my background. So, Trekkies, with that said, Sandrey Davison, a fantastic, phenomenal junior athlete that we really saw, you know. Oh, he's been around for years, obviously, but this season I would say would be his most successful season on the circuit as a junior athlete. And, we want to look into his future a little bit and shed some light on what we think would be, possible for him come 2023. So, Tom, Sandra Davis, amazing junior athlete. What say you?
Well, Sanjay Davison has gone pro. He's down at elite now. And I must say, if this was in the days of the Vikings, I would say Ronaldo Walcott is gathering up an army down
Can I tell
there.
you what is the
I
army down there?
mean, it's a total army he's gathering down there of elite athletes, the right name. So, yes, Sanjay Davison, there are a number of things. Again, when you mentioned that this year was his most successful junior year, I think there's one main reason why this year Sanjay Davison grew up. He took track and field serious and he put seriously and he put his athletic
But you know,
abilities
easy. Oh, if you said the
to
man never did not
use.
take it serious.
No, I'm just saying Sanjay Davison has been a ball of raw talent all this time. Many persons say we're overlooking him. I want to speaking about him enough, and there's a reason because sometimes there were other junior athletes that we could see they were putting in the work and they were serious about winning. When you look at Sanjay, and even when you see how he runs, he has this natural running style. I've said before, and I'm not afraid to say again that I compare him to Usain Bolt. When I see Sanjay, that is who I see. However, I've even spoken before on another video where I said that, back then, Usain Bolt was removed and incubated, but nowadays the athletes don't get that opportunity. And if Sanjay was to get the opportunity where he was, like honed and like, just taken care of and nurtured, he could be the next Usain Bolt in any event. After his awesome performance at the Carifta Games, we saw him go to the World Junior Championships, where unfortunately he pulled up in that 100 meters and he was unable to complete the event. However, he has been training with elite since May, and interestingly, when he was interviewed, there are a number of things that he had to say. He said that he's recuperating, he's feeling better, he's dying to get back to training 100%, that he has his eyes set on the World Championships 2023. So this is not me 2023 and the Olympics the following year. So this is not me and T saying that, oh, put him into the World Championships or the Olympics. That is where Sanjay's mind frame is. That is what he has his eyes set on, the World Championship. So T, what are his chances against the likes of Akeem Blake? I'm not sure what is happening with Boaj and Kuba. I don't know what he's doing at Kingston College. And I'm just saying,
Look here.
Johan Blake,
Everyone say
Johan Blake,
you have a propensity to
resurgence
put in
this
a trouble
year
on a channel
of
there.
Civil. Wait, just 1 second. So I'm just trying to tell you before the persons that he has to come up against. We have Akeem Blake. Johan Blake had a resurgence, so we're looking to see him again. Of course, there's Oblique Civil. Taekwondo, there's several other athletes that are in the mid pack. However, where does he factor? Again, Boage. What are you doing at KC, Boage? Anyway, back to more important topics.
All right, Shakis, as you can clearly see, Tom is a troublemaker. We accept Boage's decision, obviously, to remain in high school, and there's no other choice really, other than to accept it. That said, uh, Sandrey, wow, as you said, a ball of potential, right? And he has been speaking. People talk about affirmations and you know um putting it out there as it relates to what you want and going after what you want. And I felt that that's what he was doing more so this season. He really really went after what he wanted. We saw him taking the double at the Jamaica Junior Trials. I mean, that signaled um his intent to really go to the World Juniors and stand out, set himself apart from the pack. And I just remember watching him in the first round of the 100 meters, and I thought, wow, a personal best is coming. It's definitely coming in that finals. Like I remember, other than thinking about Let's Sealy, Tobago, he was definitely my number two guy, and I was like, he's definitely getting a medal. He's for sure, getting that silver medal. That was my thought process, but it didn't really work out. He ended up with an injury, but that doesn't change the fact that I felt it in my every being, in my fiber, that he was gonna do something phenomenal. And it's gonna be put off obviously for next season, but I see it happening. But I don't want to get also ahead of myself, because I also remember that during the trials, there were three other athletes that didn't get an opportunity because of injury, to not compete. And I remember going in, they would have been ranked higher. There was a Jevon Newby as well, from Kingston
Sanjay
College,
Daly.
DeAndre Daly, right? And of course, my number one that I've been talking about, Brian, that was also ranked above him, right? So with all of those juniors, and when I talk about juniors, I'm not just talking about youthful, because we know Akeem Blake is very young, but know that they've decided to join the senior ranks. I have to also keep those athletes in the back of my mind, and I'm like, what would they also bring to the table in 2023, and what's the likelihood of Sandrey really bursting out really big next season? Can I say I'm expecting it next season? I'm not really sure. I have to give him a few years. Why? Because it's a whole different ball game with the senior ranks and the junior ranks. And we saw Sherika. Let's use Sherika Jackson as an example in this case, when we talk about getting stronger. Physically, you have to be putting in that work in background training to be able to manage, running fast one, but just maintaining that speed throughout an entire season, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is his first year. One, he's recovering also from an injury. So would I be expecting him next season to go out there and do something ridiculous? Maybe not, but I definitely know or feel that it's coming. It's coming, but not next season, I don't think.
I wouldn't be
Can
surprised
he make the
if he
team? Hold
does.
on. I'm not finished. Can he make the team though? Because remember, we have to also take into perspective who is currently there in the times that are being run, other than Oblique Civil that has dipped into the 10-8. Oh, and Johan has, oh, well, how dare me forget Johan. Everybody else, we have a 10-9 in Akeem Blake, right? Or and everybody else is just bubbling that 10 seconds. So if he can get into that 10-second frame of mind, yes, I definitely think he can challenge for a spot on the team. And by team, I mean obviously relay team, to go to the World Championships. So me saying he's making a team, do I think it's like bursting out there big? No, I think it's well within his capabilities. Bursting out big would be running a 9-7. You understand what I'm saying? A 9-8. That's when I would see him bust way, right? And I'm expecting that from him, but I don't think I expect it next season. I definitely see him in the same light I see a Tina, where they can challenge for a spot on the team, right? Because we saw Boaji run 10:02, and if he was ranked higher than Boaji prior to the injury, right, then that means he has it within him to run those times. So for sure, I'm thinking that under the guidance of Elite, that he can definitely make the team, the relay team. However, as it relates to that, time where I'm going to see him launch out to become one of the best, not just yet, but I see it in his future for sure.
Yes, and I just want to say that not I'm not disagreeing with you, but every so often
Mm-hmm.
in sports, we come across a natural athlete, somebody that is just a different tier, made up of like a different caliber. And
Mm-hmm.
we just know instinctively and intuitively that this is somebody special and they're going to do something special. They're going to be special despite the odds. So they're not going to travel the normal path of development and
Okay.
working hard. It's just going to come because it's naturally in their bones. And again, for a while now, both of us who have said when we look at Sanjay, Sandrey, that is what we see. The challenge, I believe, was that he maybe did not recognize the gift that he had, and he wasn't. I don't want to say he wasn't serious, but he is way more focused. And you mentioned earlier about speaking things into being, so he's already speaking about what he wants. So couple that desire with what is playing to everybody. I mean, so he can see it himself, we can see the natural talent there.
Yeah,
I
but
think
natural
I
talent
believe
can
that is a
only take you so far
smaller.
and no more.
I
Because
understand. I believe
even
that he
if
will
what
have
you're saying,
no, just to finish, I believe that he will have a shorter way to travel to the finish line, a shorter hurdle to overcome than another athlete that is transitioning from the junior ranks into the senior ranks. I believe that his transition will be way more swift and sure. And I expect to see him now in light of Akeem Blake, Johan Blake, Oblique Civil, any of our other juniors that we saw perform excellently this year. It's kind of hard to really say who is going to make it. But if I am a betting person, I am putting him ahead of the relay pool itself. Those 6 or 8 athletes that Jamaica will choose. I am narrowing him down to top 3, 4.
all right,
That is where I see him.
here's my thing. I'm not doubting
If
his
he's healthy and that
his
injury that
talent
he
at
picked up in
all.
Colombia, takes care of itself.
Right. I'm not doubting his talent at all. In anything that I said. What the focus is his body has to be able to withstand the speed or it's going to break down, right? So it means that the body has to get strong. The body's just not going to go strong. No, it's something that's going to happen because of gradual training in the background, whatever they have him doing, the weights lifting, whatever happened, they're running in the background to get him physically stronger to be able to manage rounds, especially rounds running. It's not just about one-off running times, but if you're hoping that he's going to make the team, individual team, then he has to be running 10 seconds 3 races, right? Whilst I see him managing, obviously running that, no, but that's one race, right? So running that 3 times is a whole different kettle of fish. Then to go run it again, providing you make it to the championship. So that's what I'm saying when I talk about getting his body ready for it. Even with Usain Bolt, he wasn't ready for it back in 2007. They had to spend time, to get him
I was
ready.
thinking, sorry, just to intercede. I was thinking about Usain Bolt as you were speaking, and I wanted to mention this before you got to your point that gone are the days when Usain Bolt turned up not ready with all that raw talent. Those days are done. The
No, but all right,
coaching
let's
is
not use
different.
Usain Bolt
The
then. Yes,
mind frame of the athlete. No, I feel that's a good
hold on,
comparison
hold on.
because
Since you're saying no, wait. Since you want a comparison, not from yesteryear, then since we're
no, I
comparing
think it's a good
you saying about
comparison
yesteryear,
actually.
let's use hold on. Let's use Arian Knighton as an example, right? He is in terms of talent or just raw speed that you are able to see in the present day. He has everything, but why hasn't he been able to live with a Noah Lyles then, right?
But
Even though he's
But that is
close
an
in terms of
ideal
time.
example. No, I never said Sanjay is going to win the world championships this year. I just said I expect to see him make it past Jamaica, possibly. And we saw that with Knighton. Now, also, I could see and I could tell. We saw it with Alistair Felix. many of Sydney McLaughlin, many of our young athletes that, you're saying Bolts, many of our young athletes that tried their hand the first time around at the major international championships, again, exactly what you said. Their body was not conditioned for the rounds. So more senior athletes that had been at it for a longer
That may be
time,
slower, but they'll still end up
that
being
were slower or less
right.
talented, had been in the gym more, had been, their every muscle in their bodies were trained for competition. So those athletes tend to produce better results. However, I'm saying, as it stands in the Jamaican pool, I'm saying he has a healthy chance. Now, going on to the world
I don't think you're
scene.
looking at everybody, because they're quite, especially if you look back at what happened at the senior trials this season, not taking any other season, but just this season alone, we saw a lot of guys getting to that 10 second. And if they're looking to be better next season as well, I'm not gonna, blindside them and pretend like they don't exist. I saw them and I know that they saw what they did this season and they are looking to do better next season. So if I take all of that into consideration, I can't fairly or justly just randomly. It's not like Sandrey is doing anything completely phenomenal right now, right? Separate apart from the ball of potential that we see in him, and we're expecting great things. He hasn't really been doing anything quote unquote stand out, because as it stands right now, he's still not even the fastest junior on the Jamaican side, right? So if I take all of that into consideration, there's no way I can place him above, some seniors, and seniors meaning above, that junior age threshold, right? I'm not going to place him above them, because just like how Sanjay is coming out, and we can take this in another video, there'll be others that will be coming out as well to do much better than they did this season.
Right. So again, nobody knows where the chips will fall. What I am saying is that the odds are in his favor if a number of things line up. If he's healthy, if he trains hard and puts in the work, really. That's it.
Okay,
I think
Trackers.
the odds are in his favor.
All right, Trackers, you heard it. Thomas is saying that the odds are in his favor to definitely not just get onto that relay team, hopefully, but make the individual team to the World Championship for next season. And of course, I welcome it here. I don't really see it next season, but
And Boaji, please. I know he
we're
said
not talking about Buwaji. Let's move
we
on.
support your decision to stay at Kingston
No,
College
we're not talking
from
about
all
Buwaji.
odds.
We're not talking about Buwaji. So, Shakis, sound off in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Do you think Sandrey can really explode onto the scene next season? Do you see the potential that we see in him? As a matter of fact, and he's so tall. I saw him next to what's his name? Rashid Broadbell. And I'm like, dang, these kiddies are having me looking like I'm a child, I'm a baby. They're so tall. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. But Chuck is anyway, let us know your thoughts. As usual, like the video and of course subscribe. I'm T.
I'm Tam. We'll catch you in another one.